Hey there, this is Women on the Brink. I'm your host, Chris Jeffrey, a registered acupuncturist and wellness advisor with a passion for helping women live happier and more balanced lives. When I'm away from work, I'm usually outside in nature, either walking the seawall or I'm hiking in the mountains. And like many of you, my life has been filled with moments of hardship, some that I thought I couldn't overcome and really left me questioning my own strength. But through these challenges, I discovered resilience, courage, and a renewed sense of purpose. So I'm here to share not just my journey, but the lessons I've learned, and to remind you that no matter what obstacles come your way, there's always a path forward. And just to let you know, this podcast is not prescriptive, it's an offering. So please take what resonates with you and leave the rest. Welcome back to Women on the Brink. Today we're diving into one of those soulful, mystical ideas that give you a whole new lens on yourself and the people around you. And that's the concept of old souls and new souls. And maybe you've been called an old soul, your whole life, or maybe you've met people who seem so light and fresh and unburdened that you wonder if they're just getting started. Either way, it raises the question, like, what are we really carrying with us into this lifetime? So old souls are believed to have lived many lifetimes, and they carry a depth, not always in knowledge, but in felt experiences. So you might recognize them by their quiet wisdom or their emotional intensity. They're usually seeking meaning and connection and peace more than status or novel experiences. And I'm pretty sure I'm one of those people that has been here quite a few times because I seem to struggle with the heaviness of the world and the depth of my emotions. Sometimes I even have the feeling that I don't quite belong here, as if Earth is a place that I remember, but I don't really understand it. And old souls crave more solitude and sometimes wrestle with regret because we're carrying more than just this lifetime's wounds. But here's the gift. Old souls often arrive in lifetimes where healing is possible. We aren't here to conquer or collect. We're here to complete, to release, and to return to a state of wholeness. And here's something really unique. Our presence can stabilize others, and our insights can shift generations. New souls, on the other hand, are seen as being really early in their soul journey, and they tend to be curious and optimistic and more focused on external experiences and exploring the material world and relationships and ambition. New souls can feel impulsive or lost or overly driven. They're chasing experience after experience to make some sense of themselves. But they're also here to light things up. They bring innovation and excitement and boldness, and they're far less weighed down by karma and more open to reinvention. So if you're a new soul, this lifetime might be full of lessons learned the hard way, but you also carry a fresh kind of freedom. You're not bound by the same karmic cycles, and your energy can be really contagious, igniting possibility in the people around you. So in relationships, old souls really crave depth and resonance and spiritual alignment. They will be prioritizing more soulful connections and emotional safety and shared inner work over surface level attraction. They're the ones who might say, I feel like I've known you before, and bonding through shared values and philosophical conversations and a sense of destiny, though they can sometimes romanticize pain or overfunction in emotionally unavailable dynamics, or even avoid love altogether if it doesn't feel spiritually right. And old souls are here to heal karmic patterns and grow through intimacy and often feel a pull towards, the fated relationships. New souls, on the other hand, are drawn to exploration and passion and discovery and really thrive on the thrill of romance and the butterflies and the joy of figuring it all out. They're spontaneous and optimistic and bold in their relationships and way less burdened by the past and more focused on the present moment. And, they may rush in too quickly and avoid commitment when things get hard or sometimes overlook red flags. But they're here to learn through contrast and take risks, and they need to love. They need space to evolve and experiment and fully express themselves. Now, when it comes to travel, where you are in your soul age will often mirror where you want to go, what you're gravitating towards. So is it places with deep history or sacred energy or raw nature, like ruins or quiet coastal villages or spiritual pilgrimage sites? The old souls, they often travel to reconnect and to remember and to reflect. New souls will be pulled more towards novelty and stimulation and variety. Think cities that never sleep and flashy culture hubs and road trips with no set plan. And they travel to explore and to expand and to experiment with their identity. But it's not a strict rule. Even an old soul might crave a wild Vegas weekend now and then just to shake off the heaviness. And a new soul might find unexpected resonance in an old monastery. The deeper question is, are you traveling to escape, to discover, or to return to something within? And your answer could actually reveal more than the destination really could. Then there's your career. So your soul age can offer deep insight into the kind of career path that really fulfills you. So if you're a new soul, you might gravitate towards, fast pace and high energy environments and like startups and media or sales or industries that really reward ambition and risk taking. The new souls, you guys are here to try new things and climb ladders and experience success in more tangible, visible ways. And if you're an old soul, you're more likely to seek out work that feels purposeful and healing or aligned with some inner truth like teaching, counseling, the arts, or social change. The old souls are much less driven by status and more by meaning. And they really thrive in careers that allow for reflection and autonomy and deep connection. And neither one is better. Your soul age is simply highlighting what kind of fulfillment your spirit is wired to seek out. So I've done a fair bit of hypnotherapy in my life. Two of my closest friends are hypnotherapists. And through that work, I've really come to realize something pretty profound. I've lived many lifetimes. We've gone to past life experiences under hypnotherapy. And I didn't just land in, this lifetime blank and new. I came in with a built-in depth and a knowing and a longing and this gentle, persistent kind of grief for something beyond this world. And that's the thing with old souls. It can feel like, you're watching a play that everyone else is acting in, and you're not really here to play the lead. It's more like you're here to remember the script behind the scenes. And when I think about it, I've spent a lot of this lifetime doing what many women do. Playing roles, trying to be good, to be enough, to be likable. And I'll be honest, I just got tired of it. Something inside me one day just said, no more. And, this lifetime, at least for me, is not about performance. It's about reclaiming dreams I once abandoned, like anthropology, like storytelling, like spiritual inquiry, and the connection to land and language and the people who came before me. Those things are not just my hobbies, they're actually my soul callings. And I've come to see how I carried silence, not just my own, but other people's. I picked up on what was unspoken, and I swallowed a lot. And I know I'm not the only one, but I'm now learning how to hand that weight back. So this next chapter for me is about lightening the emotional load, and not just mine, but the one that women carry collectively. And that's why I chose the career paths that I did in this lifetime: the healer, the coach, the storyteller, and soon to be anthropologist. And when it comes to love, I've had karmic partnerships. I know that for sure. But I've stayed too long in places where I really wasn't seen. And like many of us, I prioritized my family, and it sometimes left me feeling torn between selfhood and service. But over these last couple of years, I've really been asking myself a hard but really necessary question, and that is, can I show up for myself in the way I show up for everyone else? And I believe we all need relationships that honor our freedom and our wisdom and our softness. Anything transactional, anything performative, it's just way too draining for me now. And, I was thinking too, what is my spiritual style? I mean, I don't chase trends. I move by signs and synchronicities, and I feel called to places I've never been. Like Portugal is calling me hard right now. I talk to my ancestors. I walk with this kind of deja vu. My spiritual path has always been about energy, intuition, and the unseen. So if I had to put words to the way that my soul speaks, it sounds kind of like this. I just know. I don't want to perform anymore. This feels like home, but I've never been here. Something deeper inside is calling me. I'm here to help, but not in a traditional way. So if you're listening and you feel this too, the ache, the depth, the quiet knowing, just know you're not late, you're not behind, you're probably just an old soul being invited to finally inhabit your life, not escape it, not shrink in it, not delay it, inhabit it. And this chapter isn't about fixing or proving. It's about being so unapologetically you that just by witnessing you, other women start to wake up too. Because that's what old souls do. We remember who we are and we remind others who they are too. So if you're wondering today why you're feeling older or younger than your years, if you're struggling with how you carry your past or how unsure your future seems, take a deep breath and just know your soul knows what it's doing. And older knew what matters isn't how many lifetimes you've had, it's how fully you show up in this one. Thanks for joining, and I want you to know that this isn't just a podcast, this is a movement. So share this information with your friends, and let's go, ladies.